Yes boys, welcome back to the channel, it's Erdtree, and today I want to take a special look at the Flowerstone Gavel. Now you get this from the Dragon Lord Priestess as part of the Bale quest line, and I've been using it as part of my Bloody Mary kit. I've been using it in my left hand weapon slot, mixing in some offhand attacks with my Great Katana and trying to make some good use of that really nice Ash of War. But since I've been using this weapon, I've found that it's actually really pretty good, and I think some people might be sleeping on it. So today we're going to take a special look at it and try and put it in the limelight a little bit. In the flask I've included the lightning shard in cracked here, as the Ash of War in this weapon does lightning damage, and I'm also using the Shard of Alexander. Anyway guys, that's it for the intro, so let's get into the video and see what we can do with the Flowerstone Gavel. So how's this for a first invasion guys? I spawned in against these two and they're both just a couple of mindless spinneroony schmeagles who have got those fist weapons or them feet weapons, and they're both just mindlessly running at me, pressing that spin to win button, and it's really annoying. I can't lie, I've started to really dislike these martial arts weapons. They're so annoying when you get people just mindlessly running at you like this, but it does often mean that they're lacking a few brain cells, so it is usually pretty easy to turn the tables on them. So as I mentioned guys, I've been using the Flowerstone Gavel as part of my overall kit for the Bloody Mary build, and I've been really enjoying it in that left hand weapon slot. Now initially I just put it on the build because I had some arcane on the build in preparation for an incantation that I want to use that does need some arcane. And the Flowerstone Gavel actually does need some arcane as well. The actual stats for it are 14 strength, 8 dex, and it only needs 15 arcane. So I had that arcane investment, so I thought I'd try it, you know. I already had the stats for it. I thought it looked really cool from a visual standpoint on this build. I think it really does suit the overall kit. So I put it in my left hand weapon slot and I started using it to mix into some attacks with my Great Katana. And I started to really like it. Not just from a visual standpoint, but it actually started doing some really good work. I mean, look at this invasion in the background. We've just managed to kill one summon. We can do some really nice long range harassment with the Ash of War. I've got the second summon pushing me really hard now. And the beauty about this build overall is that I've got a really well rounded kit. Not just including the gavel, I've got the seal so I can use my incantations, and in my right hand weapon I've got two weapons available in the Rakshasa's Great Katana, and then I've also got the Claws of Night. So I could see that that second summon was pushing me really hard, and I thought I'll just do a quick swap to the Claws of Night to get him out of the picture, and then I can go and kill this host. Now this host is spamming the hell out of these impenetrable thorns at me. I am starting to really despise this spell. I absolutely hate it guys. I was considering using it on this build initially, or maybe including it on another build, but every flipping person is using impenetrable thorns and just spamming the hell out of it, and it's doing my nutting guys. It's doing my absolute noggin in. So I refuse to use it because it's just been absolutely tainted for me. But you could see that host, I managed to work around his spam and I finished him off with the Ash of War on the gavel, the Flowerstone Gavel. And the Ash of War guys is absolutely awesome on this weapon. The Ash of War is what's really kind of turned my opinion on it being, you know, decent. It's a decent weapon, but the Ash of War is actually really quite good. It's not perfect. It's definitely not a perfect weapon. It's not mega strong. The Ash of War, when it works, is really good though. And I'm going to say, you know, I'm saying when it works, let me just tell you guys, this Ash of War on this weapon, it's actually called the Flower Dragon Bolt. The Ash of War on this weapon has a mind of its own. You'll see in some of these invasions, when it does hit our opponents, it actually lands. It can do some good damage and it can be really useful. But like I say, sometimes you'll try and land it and it'll just land about a million miles away from them. Absolutely nowhere near the target, which is a little bit annoying. It's very... it's quite inconsistent. I will say that. It's quite inconsistent with where it lands. You will notice it through these invasions. But like I say, when it works, it really does work well. And let me just talk a little bit about this Ash of War. So, like I say, you know, it's a flower dragon bolt, and on the description for the weapon, it actually reads like this. It says, calls down the red lightning of the ancient dragons to strike a target, deals lightning damage, and also temporarily reduces the target's lightning damage negation, and it can be charged to increase its power. So, you know, reacting to that, how good would that be on a lightning build? This isn't even a lightning build, Bloody Mary, this is a bleed build, but if you included that weapon onto a lightning build using other lightning weapons or lightning incantations, that Ash of War is going to lower the opponent's lightning resistances, and you're going to be doing some really good damage and some really good work after landing that Ash of War. So yeah, it could be really useful on a lightning build, and like I say, you know, I'm really enjoying it on this build just because of the visuals and the utility. But you know, put that on a lightning build and you're gonna, you know, all of a sudden you're getting some really good use out of it. And again, you know, part of that description is that it can be charged to increase its power. You could also put the talisman on that increases the charged attack. Is it the Radagon's icon or is it Godfrey icon? It's one of the two. Put that talisman on to get some more damage out of charged attacks. You could buff the lightning even more than I have on this build. You could add talismans to buff lightning and all that. You know, and all, you know, adding all that together, you're going to be doing some absolutely insane damage with this Ash of War. It's good range, catches people out, no one's using this weapon, they don't know what to expect from the Ash of War, and you're going to be doing some really good work. Like I say, you know, I'm using it for utility, but if you're really built into it, this thing could be pretty nasty. But just remember, it's a bit wild. It's got a mind of its own. Sometimes you think, why the hell has that lightning bolt landed 20 yards away when the guy stood 5 yards away from me? You can't call it. I don't know if it's just a little bit buggy or whether it's just part and parcel of the weapon itself. Who knows? But like I say, you know, when it works, it really does work. So you look at this, long range harassment, 619 damage there, 687 damage. He panics, falls off the ledge. Now it's just me and the host. Don't forget as well, you know, the Bloody Mary kit, overall kit is really strong. We've got the Great Katana, we've got the incantations. Unlucky not to finish him off there with the Ash of War, but we go for the second try. Nice. What a stylish way to kill a host. Really nice stuff. Super cool. Absolutely love it. Really good. This build itself, the Bloody Mary build, still isn't finished. I've been working through the DLC. I'm not going to add any new weapons to it, I don't think. I don't have any plans to at the minute. I'm quite happy just playing with the weapons that I've got on this build already. I've got 3 really strong weapons to mix between on this build. And like I say, you know, I've only just really discovered how much I like this Flowerstone Gavel. It was a bit of a game changer when I realised that you could charge the Ash of War. You know, that made a big difference. Put the Shard of Alexandra on, played into the lightning a bit. Yeah, I really started liking it. So in terms of weapons, I think I'm happy, but there are going to be incantations on this build that I am going to add. I'm just not up to that point in the DLC yet, so there will be future videos on Bloody Mary coming up. There will be more little tweaks along the way, but for now, I'm really enjoying invading on this build. If you watched the last video I released, you remember that this has had a bit of a makeover, and I'm really happy with where it's at currently. It's feeling really nice. And like I say, you know, this video is all about the Flowerstone Gavel, so I've been trying to kind of use that a lot more than I usually would, just to showcase it in this video. But I've actually been having that much success with it, putting it kind of more as a prime, you know, as a prime outsource of damage. I might start using this playstyle with this hammer a little bit more, trying to get some more use of it rather than just using the katana and the claws of night. Because it's really good, you know, it doesn't do a load of out and out base physical damage. You know, it's just it's a hammer at the end of the day. It's not going to be outperforming a lot of the other weapons, but mix it into an overall kit, make use of that Ash of War, and you'll get some good use out of it, guys. Just give it a go. I think you will really enjoy it, and you'll definitely be surprised at how useful it is, that's for sure. This invasion now was quite a tricky one, if I remember rightly. This summon was pushing me really hard with this gigantic hammer. The old what is it? Is it the Giant Crusher? Forget its name, but it's a big old bonk machine. And he was pushing me and pushing me, so I had to play this one really carefully. I was on the back foot a lot. It was all about backing up and finding a bit of space, finding time to do some work. Now again, you know, the overall kit of Bloody Mary comes into play in this invasion. The hammer on its own, the Flowerstone Gavel, probably wouldn't have got the job done in this instance on its own. So, you know, I don't think it's good enough to go and take on ganks. But like I say, if you include it as part of the overall kit, you will get some good use out of it. The summon in this invasion was making life really difficult for me, so I knew that I had to make use of that overall kit on this build. So I whipped out the Claws of Night, did some good bleed damage to him, and then I finished him off with the Flower Dragon Bolt on the Gavel. Really nice way to kill that summon. Like I say, you know, when it works, it really does work. If it hits him, you're guaranteed to kill him there, but it just depends if it decides to land on him or not. Like I say, I've had situations like that before, where I could have finished him off and it just hasn't hit, but on that occasion it did hit, and now it's just the horse. But it's still quite a tricky situation because I only got one flashback from killing that summon, so I've got to be really careful with this horse. He's doing a lot of bleed damage himself, so I've got to play the rest of this invasion out really carefully. I'm trying to use my overall kit now because I can't afford to take any more damage. I go in with the Claws of Night. It's just a bit of a free-for-all at the end there, and luckily I managed to get that big tick of damage on him before he did on me. Look at my health. I've barely any health left, but that was a really good invasion. Took a while, I had to take my time, play it really carefully, but we got there in the end. Now I remember this invasion as well. These two absolute little schmeagles were ganking here for ages, and he was using some just ridiculous kit. The horse there, fair play to him, he was just using that hammer, but his summon here who's chasing me down now is using the kick spinneroonie spin to win, brain dead, run at you. Oh, I hate it, guys. I absolutely hate it. I despise these kicking weapons. I absolutely despise them. It's just brain dead. Looks so boring as well. Like, honestly, I fancy trying them, but again, you know, they've kind of been tainted for me. But he was using these, and then whenever things got tough, he was whipping the backhand blades out. He was using blind spot. He was just being so aggressive with bleed infused backhand blades. And he's just like, oh yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare against these two. But I invaded him here, and I was holding my own for a little while. And I've just noticed that we got a fellow invader. So I just back up a little bit, bide myself a little bit of time, wait to get that support, and then I reassess and go back in. This was a really good opportunity to get some use out of the Ash of War and the Gavel. Look at this damage that I'm doing for absolutely free. Really good safe distance away, 747 on that summon there, and he's using some big chunky armour. So you know, it does do some good work. But I've got the summon on his own now, so I'm sure, you know, he's going to be feeling a little bit threatened, so he goes to the backhand blades as I was just expecting. Just spamming the hell out of it, just mashing attack. Using blind spot whenever he could. So unlucky there not to kill him. So unlucky not to finish him off. Again, you know, the Ash of War there on the Gavel. So random. I don't know why it didn't hit him. It landed about 10 yards behind him. That's what I mean. It's got a bit of a life of its own. So it doesn't always work for you. Just bear that in mind. And you can see there the summon just running at me with those horrible backhand blade weapons. And he managed to finish me off. But you know, I thought that was a good invasion to showcase the Gavel and the Ash of War. Just some nice damage, some nice long range support from my fellow invader. Hopefully he managed to go and kill one of them. I doubt it because them two were being a bit of a problem all day. But either way, you know, good invasion. I got this one next. This is a one-on-one in Caelid. This was a really good one-on-one again. Showcases some of the Gavel. Random lightning strikes. This is definitely the downside of this weapon. If it was just a bit more reliable with the Ash of War and where it was actually landing, I'd rate it much higher than I already do. And I do already rate it, you know. I think it just adds to the charm of it that it's a little bit goofy and a little bit all over the place. It's like it's got a mind of its own. But, you know, it's charming, isn't it? It's charming. Luke, where did that one land? But that one hit him, so I'm happy about that. And then we're going in for some up close and personal strikes to the face, doing some decent damage against this guy. Spot on opportunity, Nice damage on the heal punish there. Same again, that's what it's really good at. Good heal punishes. It comes in close and then it's a simple one more Ash of War to get the win. You can see guys, that's where this weapon really shines, when the Ash of War does work and it is feeling a bit more reliable. It really does work well. And the dragons come to watch. But that was the last invasion of the video guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope I've inspired you to maybe go and try this weapon. It really is a lot of fun. But anyway guys, look after yourselves, look after each other, and I'll see you all on the next video.